Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and good day to all English teachers. I am Madam ANIZA binti YUSOFF from PPD Kota Baru. So Alhamdulillah, today we are being given a chance to share with you about the compacting and acceleration and enrichment strategy, which is also called as strategy M2P. Without further ado, I would like to show you where you can get all this about. So we have been talking a lot about KPM Perkasaku, and then how teachers are supposed to go about their teaching and learning during this phase 3 from 9th of January to 24th of February 2022. So within these very short periods, we have to think of the strategies on how to cover all the learning standards that we could not cover yet during our remote learning. So I hope the session today will help you teachers in planning your teaching and learning. So this one I would like to share with you. Right, the materials that I'm going to share with you, you can get from Sumberku KPM. So the link is given, repository https://sumberku.moedl.edu.my. So from here you can get a lot of materials about teaching and learning. So the one that I'm sharing with you today, it is under a booklet which is called Garis Panduan Strategi Mampatan Pecutan dan Pengayaan M2P dalam Pelaksanaan Curriculum. Okay, right. So these are the objective for strategy M2P that you can find in page 1 of the booklet. Okay, so you can see that the objective is actually to make sure that our students are being the focus in our teaching and learning, right? Make sure that what our students did not get during remote learning before this, they can get from you in the short period of time in phase 3. Okay, all right. And then this is the framework on how to go about. You can find this at page 7 from the booklet given. Right, from the SKP. So the one that we are using is actually document penjajaran curriculum. All right, and then from there you have to plan which one that you put under catch-up plan that did not yet you cannot teach yet to your students, or maybe the one that you think that it is important, then you have to reteach to your student. Okay, so you plan your PDP, and then supposedly you have to come up with a pre-test before you start teaching. Okay, so these are the 3 groups of students based on the catch-up plan data that you have sent to PPD. Okay, so the KUKO one is actually for students TP1 and 2, and student TP3 and 4 is under KUKO 2, and also pengayaan is for students with TP 5 and 6. So based on the planning, you do your teaching and learning, and then after that supposedly you come up with a post-test. All right, and then this post-test result will help you to plan your continuous intervention. Okay, all right. Next is the steps in executing the strategy of M2P. All right, you have to go back to your SOW. All right, you go to your SOW, look at the content standard and also learning standard that you think is not covered yet, they are not covered yet, or you think that it is important. Okay, all right, and then you have to plan. All right, in your planning you need to have the objective. All right, the pre-test supposedly to be done before you start your lesson, and then the materials. Okay, materials for teaching and learning for 3 groups, And if necessary, you need to come out with rubric for assessment, okay, if necessary. And then you need to come up with a post-test as well. And don't forget that you need to have the set induction and the pre-test. Here is already mentioned the pre-test, okay. All right. Next one is when you want to implement M2P, all right, as a teacher, you need to master your subject, all right. You must be very well versed of your subject. You know what is needed in the focus of the subject, what is needed to be delivered to your students, okay. And then you need to study a little bit and about strategy M2P, and then how to go about, okay. And the last one is you need to be ready to use strategy M2P, okay. This one you can see, read in page 8 sumberku KPM from garis panduan strategi M2P, okay. All right. Now you can see from compacting, acceleration and enrichment strategy, okay, what is M2P strategy, okay. It is an alternative strategy in planning, teaching and learning session. And remember teachers, this is not compulsory. It is a sharing session, one of the ways suggested in KPM Perkasaku under Sumberku for you teachers to look, and whether you are going to use it or not, it depends on your students, right? You know your students well, but it is something very good for you to go about, because when you use the M2P, you can see that your lesson is more easy to deliver, okay? All right. And then here, differentiated pedagogy can be used, right, based on student learning needs, okay? And also, the implementation of teaching and learning is flexible because you have the autonomy to run it according to your students' need. Okay. So this is the concept of M2P, all right? Compacting, acceleration and enrichment. So in the middle, you can see that differentiated pedagogy is done, all right? So differentiated pedagogy is actually already mentioned in our DSKP, all right? Any subjects can use differentiated pedagogy. Okay, so this is the beauty of M2P strategy. Okay, so in curriculum compacting, what you need to do is you need to rearrange curriculum content, the themes, the topic, the skills that you think that your students need to learn, which is important to be learned, okay? All right, so here is actually you go back to your SOW or your yearly planning, okay? And do some changes there, all right? You choose learning standards within the same unit that can be achieved in a lesson, okay? So here you go back to your yearly planning, go back to your SOW and do some amendments there based on the learning standards, content standards that you think are important for you to focus on in the phase 3, okay? All right. For those who have mastered the learning standard, extend the activities. This is for the enrichment group, okay? You can extend the activities using more challenging learning opportunities. This is where differentiated approach is used, okay? All right. Curriculum compacting. Even though you compact everything, but objectives need to be mastered, content needs to be covered, okay? So these are the main thing that you have to think about. Okay, so we are not talking about touch and go activities, but make sure that it is mastered by your students. Okay, so later on I will share what teachers had been done, planning on how to go about using M2P strategy. Okay, so acceleration actually refers to the practice of presenting curriculum earlier or at a faster pace. Alright, earlier or at a faster pace, because the content maybe did not covered yet. Alright, supposedly it has to be covered at the end of the semester, but because of our constraints, you compact them everything, okay, and then you have to accelerate the teaching. Okay, and then enrichment, actually it provides in-depth learning opportunities that enhance the curriculum, and it's based on pupil strength, interests and needs. So enrichment is activities that you are going to plan to help your students who already mastered the learning standard. Okay, so this one, the common mistakes, right? Okay, we were familiar with the statement that the good pupils can help the weak pupils, all right? But here, okay, in this period of time, okay, it is considered as common mistakes, asking more proficient pupils to guide or provide support to the less proficient ones, all right? This is from the slides given by KPM, right? So it is considered common mistakes because our students had been in remote learning for almost 2 years, all right? So each and every student actually need helps from teachers, okay? And then we cannot rely on students to help their friends, all right? And then the common mistakes also, giving fast finishers more work. Doesn't mean that your student, when they finish, you keep on giving them more and more work to do, right? Okay, or asking them to do their own work, right? In class, let's say they finish first, then you let them do their own work, okay? So that is considered common mistakes. All right, so why should I consider using M2P strategy? Okay, it goes back to the slides before, all right, this one. Why? Because as a teacher, you will have the autonomy to control your teaching and learning, so that your teaching and learning will be flexible according to your students' needs. And again, you can use differentiated pedagogy so that you can cater to your student needs, all right? Then you will have a lot of alternative strategy in planning the teaching and learning session. Again, because of your students' needs. Okay, so the focus is actually to make sure that our students are going to get the input that they miss during the MCO period. Okay, maybe during the remote learning, many of our students are not able to join the Google Meet, for example, because of internet access problems and so many other problems that make them unable to join our online classes. Okay, all right, so for you as a teacher, what do I do if my pupils already know it? Okay, you have to think of different work, not more work. Okay, so different work, actually, where can you get different work? It's not easy for teachers, right? So you have to think, all right, within this period of time, lots of constraints, you still have other jobs to do at school, okay? So KPM actually provided materials for you teachers so that it can help you in planning your teaching and learning. All right, from KPM, of course, we have Sumberku. And from PPD Kota Baru, we have One Stop Learning Center, PPD Kota Baru. Okay, let's see what we have here. So this is the interface for Sumberku. You can type the link given, or you just go to Google and type Sumberku. All right, surely this one will appear. Alright, sumberku. So under sumberku, carian bahan, you just click here, then you can go. A lot of materials are shared here. Okay, and then for One Stop Center PPD Kota Baru, okay, we share lots of portal for you teachers to use in helping you doing your teaching and learning. Okay, we have portal SSTP, we have portal JPN, TV Pendidikan is also here, KB Cakna, and then we have Galaxy Channel USTP PPD Kota Baru. These are the materials that you can use to help you in teaching and learning. Okay, in KB Cakna, actually, these are the page where you can find lots of activities that students can do. Some of the activities students can do on their own, okay, and then many fun learning activities, interactive activities are shared here. So you just go about, you can find according to subject, okay, according to year or form that you are teaching, and according to the topic. You just search here, okay, then you will find many materials that you can use to help you in executing your teaching and learning. Okay, this one is unit sumber and teknologi pendidikan for PPD Kota Baru. A lot of YouTube videos which had been done by our teachers in PPD Kota Baru. Alright, you can find lots of materials here, how to teach and what topic, okay, to help you in planning your teaching and learning. Okay, now we go to teaching and planning guide. This one is given in the M2P strategy. Okay, the sample is given. All right. Okay, so sample given also, teaching planning guide, compacting, acceleration and enrichment strategy, M2P in curriculum implementation for Form 3. Okay, so for English, the focus skill, of course, the 4 skills, listening, speaking, reading and writing. Okay, and then this teacher, the content standard that she wanted to focus on, all right, is there are from lesson 72 until lesson 81. Okay, so in each lesson there will be main skill and also complementary skill. Okay, main skill and complementary skill. So the learning standard focus, let's say for lesson 72, okay, it will focus on 3.2.1, okay, and also 2.1.4, and it goes the same to lesson 73 until lesson 81. Okay, all right. Okay, so literature in action in lesson 81. All right, so you can see that literature in action, you can either teach in a separate lesson, or maybe you can just combine in any of this lesson if it is suitable. Okay, right. So for that content standard that had been chosen, these are the objectives that teachers plan students will achieve. All right, there are 6 objectives here that teachers hope the students will achieve. All right, and then here examples of listening, speaking, reading and writing activities that can be done to differentiate between groups. For example, the core group for listening, the student will listen to a short text and circle correct answer. Okay, for the reinforcement group, students listen to a simple longer text, and then they have to write a word or phrase to describe the connection between the pictures in each set. Okay, you can see the differentiated happen here between the core and reinforcement group and also the enrichment group. Okay, so in enrichment group, pupils have to listen to an extended text, explain their point of view, and then they have to answer questions based on the text. So you can see that the core group, they come up with a simple, easy activity. All right, the enforcement group, you give them a little bit of thinking activity. For enrichment, lots of thinking activity. All right, they have to think, they have to analyze, then only they can complete their task. Okay, same goes to speaking. All right, okay. All right, this is the sample given for Form 3 in the M2P strategy. Okay, all right, before that, so the cross-curricular element given here is patriotism and citizenship, the multiple intelligence, verbal linguistic intelligence, and also interpersonal intelligence, while the HOTS is applying higher order thinking skill, okay, at the level of applying, analyzing, and evaluating. Okay, right, then 21st century skills, team player, thinker, communicator, inquisitive, and patriotic. All right, for post-lesson, students have to complete an exit card, then they have to review their learning. Okay, they need to answer what went well or what did not go well in their learning. Okay, and then suggestion, they have to suggest what would be better. Okay, if so from this, teacher will collect the cards and use them for planning the next lesson. Okay, all right. Suggested also post-test, where the teacher will ask students to write a short description on how pupils spend their free time doing beneficial activities, 20 to 30 words, all right, as a post-test, so that teacher can get a clear picture of the student's level. Okay. Now the teaching aids, all right, teacher will list out the teaching aids to be used during this particular lesson. Okay, after that, reflection and remarks has to be put after the lesson had been carried out. Okay, so I hope you can understand how to go about the M2P strategies. Okay, all right. For multiple intelligences, there are 9 lists given. Okay, list of intelligence given here. All right, the first one is verbal linguistic. The second one, naturalist. The third is logical mathematical. The fourth one, existential. The fifth one, musical. The sixth one, intrapersonal. Followed by bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, and also visual spatial. I'm not going to explain to you this because as a teacher, I believe that you have been you know all these intelligences and you have the knowledge of it already. Okay, all right, now how compacting can be done? Okay, for example, given, let's say, lesson 72. Okay, the skills that the teacher's focus is 3.2.1, and then the complementary skill is 2.1.4. Okay, all right, and then in lesson 75, complementary skill 2.1.4 again appear. Okay, as well as lesson 77, 2.1.4. So 2.1.4 appear in 3 lessons actually. So the 3, this one they can compact. Okay, teacher can compact if your pupils have acquired the skills. Okay, all right, and then literature in action. Okay, can be incorporated in any reading lesson. if suitable. Alright, doesn't mean that teacher have to come up with one proper lesson for literature in action. But if it is necessary for your students, go on according to your plan. Alright, but it also can be compacted. Okay, and then teachers may repeat the learning standards if you think that you need to reinforce the skills. Depends on your students. Maybe earlier you said that you think that 2.1.4 can be compacted, but along the way when you are doing your teaching and learning, executing teaching and learning in the classroom, then you see that, okay, these learning standards must be a focus as well. Then go on. It's up to your students' level. Okay, so it is taken from scheme of work. Alright, you want to do compacting, acceleration and enrichment. These are taken from scheme of work that you have to refer to. Okay, alright. Now, I would like to share the one that is done by primary school teachers. Okay, one of the school in PPD Kota Baru. So thanks a lot to teacher Nordiana Ahmad, who is willing to share what she had prepared according to M2P strategy. Okay, alright. Let me share the SOW or yearly lesson plan, yearly plan that teacher Nordiana had shared with me. Alright, so she had planned for the period of 9th of January to 24th of February. So she wants to focus on, for listening is 1.3.1, for speaking 2.2.2, for reading 3.2.1 and 3.2.2, for writing 4.3.3, and for language arts 5.2.1. Okay, so in unit 6 the topic is sport, so she planned to do this in 2 weeks. Okay, because the topic she did not have time to teach her students yet. Okay, and then she thinks that the topic is important because sport is actually something which is related to students' daily life activities. Alright, so students actually love sports and they involve in sports in their everyday life. Okay, so these are the dates given for week 1 and week 2 in January 2022. Okay, then she came up with the second week planning. Okay, the second week planning 3 and 4. Okay, for week 3 and 4 still she focuses on the listening, speaking, reading, writing and language art, the same skills, because these are the skills that she could not execute during PDPR or during the remote learning. Okay, so week 4 actually we have Chinese New Year holiday, so only 1 day for week 4 actually here. Okay, alright, so she is going to continue this topic growing up in week 5. Supposedly she finished in week 4, but because of week 4, the Chinese New Year holiday, then she continued in week 5 from 6 February to 10 of February. The same skills, teachers. Alright, next is going away. This is unit 8. Alright, so she will execute this in week 6 to week 7. Okay, from 13 February until the last day before the end of semester school holiday on the 24th February. Okay, alright, so this is the yearly plan or SOW for teacher Nordiana from SK Camp Pengkalan Cepa. Okay, now let me share one of her teaching planning guide, okay, as a sample for you teachers. Okay, right, so this is planned according to the format given from M2P strategies before, but a little bit amendment here and there, okay, to suit teachers' need in executing the teaching and learning lesson. Okay, all right. So you can see the items, subject, theme, topic, class, okay, day, date, time, and duration. These are the normal things that teacher must put in our daily lesson plan. Okay, only that inserted here is approaches. So here teacher is going to use differentiated instruction. Okay, right. Then the content standard is 1.3 and also 2.2. Okay, while the learning standard, the main skill is 1.3.1 and the complementary skill is 2.2.1. Okay, so these are the two skills that teacher is going to focus on during this 1 hour lesson. Okay, pre-test, all right, listen and match phrases to the correct pictures. So teacher will do this pre-test on the first day of schooling, on the 9th. That is what she planned, on the 9th of January, when students first come to school. Okay, the first lesson, she is going to do the pre-test in a fun way using quizzes, all right, in quizzes. So it's not pen and paper examination, but fun activities for the student to do where they did not even know that they are being assessed by teachers. Okay, all right. Then level of student, 3 levels here. The objective, by the end of the lesson, pupils will be able to listen and talk about their favorite sports and also to complete the task given. Okay, here the teacher lay out success criteria, all right, because according to TS25, the success criteria must be written in the lesson plan. Okay, all right, so the success criteria actually almost the same for the 3 groups, but it is a bit different when it comes to what the students have to respond. Okay, all right, for the core group, matching spots with the pictures, we hope that the student, okay, we need the student to do the activity, all right, together with this one, reinforcement and also enrichment group. Okay, and then they can choose and circle, all right, for the core group they can choose and circle, while the reinforcement group, they have to give reasons. Okay, they have to circle and they have to give reasons on choices made. Okay, and the reinforcement group, they have to circle, they have to give reasons also, all right, but the reason must be very clear. Okay, later on, all groups have to do presentation in their own group, all right. Okay, so you can see that success criteria based on groups are different. We expect different success criteria by our students from different groups. But if, let's say, the core students can achieve the success criteria from the reinforcement groups, that is a bonus for us as teachers. Okay, all right. Now we go to pre-lesson. Okay, so for set induction, teacher plan to do gap spot words she will write on the board, and then she will ask pupils to guess the word. Alright, for example, she will write T, blank, blank, N, blank. Okay, there's supposed to be one more blank here. Alright, blank, S. Alright, so student can guess that this is actually tennis. Okay, after that she will continue with introduction. Let the student watch a short video. Okay, this is a trailer from Rio 2016 Olympic Games. So students will watch this YouTube video. The duration is around 2.6 minutes. Okay, then pupils will name the spots after they watch the video. They will name the spots which appear in the trailer video, and then teacher can ask students to write the spots on the board. Okay, this is for the introduction. Alright, while lesson, teacher will come up with the activity. Okay, teacher will show pictures and then guide pupils to name the spots. Later on, the audio about spots will be played so that the student can listen to it. Okay, and then based on the listening audio, students will match spots to the correct pictures. Okay, the word spelling of words match with the correct pictures. Okay, and then here teacher intention is to drill the pronunciation, especially on the name of spots. Okay, alright, then class activities, discussion about the spots that the students like, and then teacher expect that the core students can give simple reasons, while the enrichment groups, teacher expect them to give reasons. Okay, and of course the enrichment groups, they have to come up with clear reasons and with clear explanations on the choices that they made. Okay, alright, after that teacher will continue with group activities. Okay, right, for the core group, they have to listen to audio and then circle the correct answer. Okay, this one, enrichment reinforcement group, they have to listen to audio and then fill in the correct word. Okay, one word for one blank. Right, for the enrichment group, pupils will listen to the audio and then match the phrases in table A and table B. Okay, alright. So, differentiated activities, alright. The product will be differentiated. Okay, then they have to do presentation. Alright, so the activity is called team, stand and share. So each of the group will do presentation in their own group, okay, by using the Kagan activity, team, stand and share. Okay, alright, after that, post lesson, okay, teacher will give quizzes so that students will answer the questions in quizzes. After that, teacher will wrap up lesson. Okay, right, then for the post test, the classroom evaluation, listen and complete phrases and sentences in blue card. This one is for post test. Okay, so these are the planning that the teacher had done for teaching this particular topic. Alright, for integration, she mentioned cross-curricular elements, the CCE, values and patriotism. This one is taken from the SKP. Okay, alright, then multiple intelligence, the verbal linguistic, intrapersonal and also interpersonal intelligence. Okay, so in writing the multiple intelligence, teachers, you need to know your students' intelligence, and then you can discuss with counselors at school, because counselors can help you to identify what kind of intelligence that your students possess. Okay, right. For higher order thinking skills, she mentioned here understanding, applying, and analyzing. These are taken from the SKP as well. Okay, all right. And 21st century skills also taken from the SKP. Okay, she mentioned here communicator, team player, and then patriotic. Okay, as for teaching aids, teacher will use YouTube video, listening tracks 1 and tracks 2, visual aids, worksheet, and quizzes. Okay, so this is the planning shared by teacher, the one that she planned to execute on Monday next week. Okay, all right. I think I think that's all that I want to share with you, teachers. I hope the sharing session today will benefit you, and it can help you to plan your lesson within this short period of time, the 6 weeks that we have in the phase 3. Okay, right. So with all that, I wish you all good luck in teaching and learning, and I hope that you can help your students to gain the important concepts that they had missed during the remote learning. Okay, thank you very much for your time watching this session. Till we meet again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.